and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Rico Report / POSTGAME show. I am your host, Rico. I am solo today because my boy Z-Bot is not feeling well. He is absolutely under the weather, and I totally get it because whatever the heck he told me in my chat, it's like he transferred that thing to me. Right now, my throat is burning right now, but your boy has got to get through it. So pardon me that I have a little, something to kind of make my throat feel a little better. That's I'm gonna put it that way. So, folks, welcome to another show. How do we feel about that play? How do we feel about the win that the Bills put out today? Were you excited about that performance? Were ya? Because I wasn't. Folks, the Bills narrowly get away in Cleveland with a 23-20 win over the Cleveland Browns. My. The Bills are known for making second half adjustments and really waking up, clearing the cobwebs and clearing the sleep from their eyes and making plays down the stretch. Not every week can be the same. We understand that. But boy, oh boy, did the Bills put on a snooze fest of a performance today where we weren't sure if this was, is this what we're going to expect going up against the likes of the Eagles next week, which is a playoff team? Is this what we're going to expect going into the round one of the playoffs, whether we have to play the Pittsburgh Steelers, whether we have to play the Jacksonville Jaguars, wherever we seed? My goodness, that performance today cannot transpire and transfer over into next week and 2 weeks to come. Folks, at the end of the day, what matters most is that the Bills got away with a win. We're not going to talk about this game afterwards because what matters now is one win. And we've said this before, and we said it multiple times. We don't care how we get these wins as long as the wins come. But boy, oh boy, this was a nasty one. I wasn't sure what I was watching. I was questioning what I was watching. I'm sitting there watching this game, and I'm sitting on my couch going, what's happening? Like, what are we doing here? It started off with the Bills deferring, which I actually really like when the Bills defer because they get the ball in the second half and they can keep it rolling. These boys defer and allow the freaking Cleveland Browns, led by rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders, to run the ball, take the dump offs, make proper throws, and they walk down the field and put 7 on the board on us right off the rip. I was kind of okay. That's not the type of start that I would have anticipated for the Bills, knowing that we're playing the Cleveland Browns with a rookie quarterback. And historically, this team does not start fast. Actually, they're actually, funny enough, they're actually a team. I think this came from JJ Watt, mentioned that they're usually very well scripted for their first plays. First series, first 15 plays or so, they're scripted very well. They can march down. After that is when they start to make adjustments. But folks, if you saw what took place this game, 7 points in the first quarter, and then these guys, they put 3 in the second, and then they come up and score right away in the seventh, in the third quarter after the Bills go 3 and out. We don't even score in the fourth quarter. It took the defense to make huge plays to get the ball back. And here's the thing: call McDermott what you want to call McDermott, but his defense makes the stops when the stops need to be made, and they give the ball back to the offense. This is the third game straight that the defense has come alive to save this offense and give the ball back in order for us to either preserve a win or give the ball back for us to go out and get the win. But the Bills defense, believe it or not, has come in clutch. And it's a big thank you to someone that we've been wondering where they've been in terms of getting after the quarterback and sacking the quarterback, and that was Greg Rousseau. Greg Rousseau was absolutely sensational today. Had 2.5 sacks. I mean, I would have given the 3 sacks on his own, but they gave half the sack to Jordan Poyer. Good on him. But Greg Rousseau was someone that they moved around all over the place. He was either on the left side, he was on the right side, he was in the middle a couple times, coming in from the inside pressure, stunt plays. Love to see Greg Rousseau do what he's supposed to. My man Groot came in and showed out that not only Joey Bosa is your pass rusher, I can pass rush as well. Well, I hope to see that version of Greg Rousseau going forward because he's very capable, absolutely capable. So big shout out to Greg Rousseau and this team. And like I can't ask for a better performance against a team that, if not for Greg Rousseau, could have easily walked down, got themselves in range to score, and put them up over the Bills. And that would have been a disastrous loss for a team that's been playing well these last 3 games and losing to the Cleveland Browns. We narrowly got away with this game, and I'm sitting here just sick, absolutely sick. But the win is what we wanted. The win is what we got, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Now, before I go into further points that I wanted to touch on, I wanted to give a big shout out to those that have become new members. Shout out to you guys. I got my guy Matthew Giller. Welcome to the Bing. I like that. Let me give another shout out to another member here. We got another Matt showing some love. Love that. And we got Junkyard James coming through and becoming members of Buffalo Fanatics. Oh, hold on. And I think Matt Lur 3431 probably upgraded his YouTube membership. So we appreciate that, my G. And for every one of y'all, we appreciate it. You guys have been obviously holding us down, and we love that you guys support and always show love to the Buffalo Fanatics. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to the shits. All right. I don't got my boy Z-Bot with me, but you know what? We're going to rock this thing like we normally do. Here's the deal. There's some good things, bad things, and there's some things in between. Let's talk about the positive. James Cook continues to be the heartbeat of this team. Let's keep it a buck. This guy's the heartbeat of this team. Half the games that we've won is because James Cook got us jump started and then got the whole team going. Today, in the first half alone, had 9 carries, over 100 yards, and 2 tutties. This guy, if he's not leaning towards winning Offensive Player of the Year, I don't know what is. And I'm dead serious about it. Offensive Player of the Year, James Cook. This guy just continues to just do great things and give us life in this offense because, my goodness, if James Cook was not in that backfield, who knows what this offense and how this game would have turned out. Great job, offensive line. Great job with individual play by James Cook, especially on that big 40-yard rip that he whipped up. If the vision anticipation, if he didn't have that, this would have just been a regular large gain of maybe 12 to 15 yards, and down he goes. But that cutback, forcing that man to miss up top and taking it to the house, James Cook, Offensive Player of the Year candidate. And I'll tell you right now, if he keeps doing what he's doing right now, he could easily get into that position. So big shout out to James Cook on what he was able to do today. Loved it. This guy ended the game today, not with the numbers that we would have anticipated, but all of the work that he did was really in the first half. He ended the game with 16 carries for 117 yards, 7.3 yards a pop. In the first half alone, this guy was averaging 11.1 yards. He was averaging a first down every damn touch that he grabbed the ball. So 117 yards, finished the day, 7.3 yards with 2 touchdowns with a 44-yard long run. And also, he added another reception for 17 yards. So he is not far off, ladies and gentlemen, from having a 2,000-yard season. A 2,000-yard all-purpose season. He is not that far off. I think he's less than 200 yards away. My boy Pierre's been keeping track. So 200 yards away from attaining what a beautiful goal. Because just last year, we were questioning, can he do it again? Can he get 18 plus touchdowns? To me, 18 plus touchdowns was 16, was absolutely unreal. But the fact of the matter is this, folks. If you've seen what James Cook has been able to do this year alone, he's been fantastic. He's got 287 carries. He's got 12 rushing touchdowns. That makes him tied for 12th in the league. And he's got 1,500 rush yards. 15. And we were sitting here going, man, he's asking for all this money, and he wants to be re-signed to this team and given a big contract. But can he do it again? Boy, is he ever! He's not only putting up the yards, he's getting the touchdowns to go with it. So big shout out to James Cook. That dude is, I'll say it again, dare I say, the heartbeat of this team. If we go as far as James Cook takes us and Josh Allen just gets us over the top and really gets us going. So that's one thing that I want to shine a light on is how great this offensive line has been for the likes of James Cook. So big shout out to James Cook. Let me keep rolling with sharing the positive because, boy, there are some negatives that we're going to touch on. Offensive line. Offensive line today, I think they came out and did a great job because I'll tell you this, Myles Garrett is one of the best defensive linemen to ever grace a football field. And you're going up with a Myles Garrett that is in his prime right now, that is whooping tail everywhere he goes. He's got 20 plus sacks right now, trying to go for the record. The offensive line had a task ahead of them today. Excuse me. And I think they did a damn good job of keeping Myles in check. So Myles was given a half sack today when Josh decided to just go rogue and decided to go back to Wyoming and do this whole hoopsie-doo and all that good stuff. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But in that play, Myles Garrett ended up coming in and making a sack, meaning Josh gave himself up. Him and Mason Graham were the two that were there to touch the player. So now, if not take that play away, we absolutely handled Myles Garrett perfectly fine. We chipped on him. Deion Dawkins had him one-on-one several times. And some would say, when we won the battle. We won the battle of keeping Myles Garrett from ruining this game, from single-handedly ruining this game, because we know that he is a game wrecker. If you don't put a hand on that man, and if you don't do something to slow that brother down, he could ruin that game for you. So we were able to come in and handle business in that regards of not allowing Myles Garrett to come in and destroy the game. We kept him in check. So big shout out to the offensive line. Great job. All right, let me keep it up with the positive because there were some positives in this. If you look at what we were able to do in the second half, all right, so shout out to my guy, Brian Bauer. What up, bro? If you look at this, if you were able to see what we were able to do in the second half, and that's more so making stops when we needed to make the stops on the Cleveland Browns. And I have to give shout out to Bobby Babich and Coach McDermott. Pardon me, my voice is a little hoarse, but I'm gonna try to fight through it for y'all. Anyway, big shout out to the defense because the defense made stops when they needed to make stops. If you go back and take a look what was taking place here, we needed those things to happen in the fourth quarter. If you look at what took place, so obviously the Bills went 7 plays and we decided to go for it on fourth down, and I was really disappointed with that we couldn't come about when Josh Allen just missed Shavers by this much. Like, you had him early, you could hit that, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. But we give the ball away on downs, and then here comes the defense coming in and forcing. Let me go back here. I got my notes all mixed up. Okay, there we go. So so obviously we come into the fourth. So I'm like, okay, we got to make certain that we come in and handle business. So we turn the ball over. So we hold these guys to a field goal, right? Because we gave them good field position to get the ball back, and they march 4 minutes with the ball, 8 plays, and they go down there and hit a field goal. Bills punt yet again, right? Offense is not getting going. Then the defense comes in and makes them turn the ball over on downs on a fourth down. Here come the Bills offense, come in. We turn the ball over on downs. The defense comes in. We force these boys to punt. So if not for the defense coming in and making these guys, stopping them on fourth down on 2 occasions, and also making them punt, maybe Shedeur Sanders pulls a stunt and gets these guys going, and we lose the game off of a bad play and they score. Like, those are all the things that could have happened if defense did not step up and do what needed to be done in order to get the ball back to the offense. So was this game sexy? Hell no, it wasn't sexy, because I've got my points that I want to touch on after. I'm only talking about the positives at this point. All right. Last but not least that I want to touch on, which was positive in this game, was the fact that we were able to, a couple things, that we were able to win on the road. It's never easy to go on the road and win, regardless of the team that you're playing. You got to go on the road and do what needs to be done. That you got to give credit to the Bills on them being on the road. They're now 4-3 on the road. Give them that credit. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? We kept these boys to 160 yards passing. So we didn't allow Shedeur Sanders to go off for 400 yards. We were able to corral these boys. And I'll give credit to where credit is due, because Jordan Poyer, the ageless wonder, came through and had 11 total tackles this game. He was run fitting. He was getting in the gaps. This guy played good football today. So big shout out to Jordan Poyer. So a bright spot for this defense on his end. He got himself an interception, as well as Daquan Jones, the defensive front. Let me just put it this way. The defensive front getting their hands up in the lanes, right? You don't understand how important that is. Big boys getting their hands in lanes, deflecting the football, and now giving the ball back to the offense. 2 big-time turnovers given back to the offense. And this is why I was telling you guys, the Cleveland Browns are known to give up the football at least twice in a game. I said that in the pregame, and it's exactly what took place today. 2 picks taken away. I know they were batted balls, but the fact that we were alert enough to come in, take that ball, and give the ball back to the offense so the offense can do what they needed to do. So big shout out to the big defensive plays that were made. Now, can I share that there weren't a lot of good things in this game? I have to be real. There were not a lot of good things that happened in this game. So let me get my rocks off, and then we can get into certain things. And if there are any questions that you guys feel that I need to touch on, you guys already know how to reach me and how to get to me. Super chat it, and I'll get it to you as soon as I can. All right. You know what? Speaking of super chats, let's get to some super chats now, and then that way we can roll. So my guy, Money Mitch, comes in and says, I'm unfortunately unable to join the live show, so I'm sending this in early. Ugly win. I can't agree with you more. That was a nasty win. Drop passes. Come on, Knox and Cooks. I want to slap you guys. Josh, ? He says, be better, man. Count your blessings because winning in this league is tough. AKA Dick Geron used to say that all the time. It's not easy to win in this league, and he's absolutely right. Absolutely right. I got another one coming from my man, Dan Echo. Dan says, defense bailed us out, said last week, if we could learn to play 2 halves of football, irony. That was a great D that we beat, though. Make no mistake. Prayers for Judkins. That was a tough loss for Judkins. Colts lose. We're in. Yep, we solidified ourselves in on as a playoff team. So we're in. We clinched, and we can go from there. Lastly, coming from my man, Don Callie. Cook's experiment is over. Excuse me. Bernard, not an MLB, undersized, and can't tackle. A Knox drop in a big spot given. Frustrating. Go Bills. Cook's experiment. Oh, Brandon Cook. I see what you're saying. We'll get into that. We'll get into that Brandon Cooks conversation in just a little bit. But big shout out to those that are ready to give super chats and go on. All right, let's talk about the challenging things that I just can't get over. Number one, I got to talk about my quarterback, Josh Allen. If you thought Josh Allen had a good game, wake up. That was not a good game by Josh. I'm not sure if Josh was looking ahead to just getting out of that with a win. He was expecting just to kind of throw, you know what I'm saying, some easy throws and run the football down their throats and call it a day. And then the defense was just going to have to do what they do. But listen, not all games are going to be the same. You're going to have to step up. There's a whole lot of things that takes place in these regards. But Josh Allen, it starts with our leader, Josh Allen. And he wasn't at his best today. Was not even close to at his best. And any talk about him being MVP, throw that in the toilet and flush it. A lot of folks weren't even about that to begin with in the first place. But with the way that Josh plays in December into January, one could surmise that, hey, he could probably get in there and sneak in as a MVP favorite. Today, put it to bed. He ain't no damn MVP. With that the performance today, that doesn't warrant MVP because your MVP doesn't play like this. 12 for 19, 130 yards, multiple missed throws, a blunder of a 2nd and 1 call that you decide to scramble out of nowhere, get back and almost give up a safety. Uncharacteristic. That's not the stuff that you want your quarterback doing. I know this is the Josh Allen experience where you got to take the good with the bad and the reckless with the conservative. But this was a moment where Josh needed to absolutely be conservative on that play, but he chose not to. 130 yards passing, 6.8 yards a pop. No turnovers, which is fantastic, but also no passing touchdowns. 2 sacks taken. You saw the atrocious sack that he took early on that I was talking about. Then he took another big, long sack. Dude, 2 sacks for 35 yards of loss. Dude, if you're going to take the sack and call it a day. But when you have a guy like Josh, those things don't happen because when you think a play's dead, it's very much alive with Josh Allen. So you have to take that with a grain of salt and check the good with the bad. 2 sacks for 35 yards and had a rating of 83.2. That was Josh Allen today. More on Josh. Josh going and taking that hit late, bumming his ankle. Thank goodness he says that he's all gravy. Those were his words, not mine. He's all gravy. He feels good. It should not be an issue for him going into Philly. But those are the very plays that he's got to chill out on. We go as far as that brother will take us. Although James Cook is like the heartbeat of this team, he gets us going. Josh is who takes us over the edge. That's who's supposed to lead the way. But man, we cannot have those drops. We can't have those bad passes. We can't have a misblocked assignment. Like offensively, there were blunders that happened in this game that if we're trying to really push ourselves to become Super Bowl contending team, this performance that you just saw just about 45 minutes ago was absolutely horse garbage, horseshit, terrible. So that's the one thing I got to say about Josh and his performance today. It wasn't his best. Does he know that? Yes. Does he care in particular that he didn't have a great statistical game? Probably very little, because at this point, he's already got the MVP. He's already been a Pro Bowler. He's already been an All-Pro guy. At the end of the day, what he's trying to chase right now is the Super Bowl. And a win today just gets him closer to that seeding-wise, and we're still open and ready to go for that AFC East title, depending on what the Patriots do against the Ravens and how they do later on against the Jets or the Dolphins. But that's neither here nor there. Josh Allen, although did not have his best game today, we could also say that he made at moments some tough throws that needed to be made. But boy, could we have avoided some situations. We could have avoided some situations that we didn't need to be in. But here we are with the Bills at 11-4, 5-3, by the way, not 4-3, 5-3 on the road as a big road win. I know how hard it is to play on the road. It's tough. I get it. You're not at home. You don't have the crowd behind you, etc. But Bills Mafia travels extremely well. Cleveland ain't but a hop, skip, and a jump from Buffalo. So, but altogether, not Josh's best performance. Not Josh's best performance. So, shout out to us getting the win and getting out there somewhat unscathed and not hurt, because at the end of the day, that's what you want. But man, oh man, Josh was not his best today. I got my man Motto says, I disagree with Rico on Josh. This game plan was another one of Brady neutering Josh from the start. I totally disagree with that a lot, because there were moments that Josh needed to make some throws and make them happen, and he either missed them or these guys were dropping the football. Game plan was the game plan to run the football and really establish a large lead and just do the basic things. I think that's what the game plan was. And then obviously that kind of went to crap a little bit because we started making mistakes and Cleveland was moving the football way too easily on our defense. And now it put ourselves in a bind a little bit where we had to like really step up and make some things happen. But was he perfect? No. Was his offense great? Not at all. Not at all. We could be so much better. So much better. All right. Josh Allen, 12 of 19, 130, 6.8. Had another 17 yards on the ground by Josh with 7 carries. No touchdowns on the ground, obviously. So it was just like let's get this game over with. This is what at least it feels to me. Let's get this game over with and just move on and get to the Eagles game. We don't want to show too much. I don't know what it looked like today, but it just felt like it was a basic vanilla game. They just needed to get through it. And that they did with a 23-20. It was a lot harder than they wanted to make it seem, but nonetheless, here we are, 11-4 Bills with that win. All right, so Josh, not his greatest performance, but it is what it is. Here's another one that we got to talk about. So the Bills today decided we're going to make Gabe Davis and Keon Coleman healthy scratch. I was okay with that decision because with those guys being on the field, you didn't get much of a difference. So let's see if we can get more speed and separation on the field. So you have Khalil, Josh Palmer, Mecole Hardman, Brandon Cooks, and Tyrell Shavers. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing changed. Nothing changed. You can switch it up all you want. Nothing changed, which is still baffling to me because the Bills, offensively, we can't be that. Joe Brady can't be that bad that he can't scheme up something for these receivers. And we can't talk about, these guys don't have speed, because all you had on the offense today was speed. That's all you had. You had Brandon Cooks. You had Mecole Hardman. You had Tyrell Shavers, right? He ain't slow. And you had Don Kincaid. He's out there. He's not a slow tight end. You had guys that can get separation. What in the heck, man? And I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Palmer. I was watching Palmer today. That brother looks slow, man. Like with all that separation, I don't know if it's just cold weather and it just shrinks him up. Boy, you Canadian, boy. You better stop all that mess. You're not from California. Like I didn't get it. So like it felt like a combination of like scheme these guys up and these guys just not getting it. Just or the routes being run. I don't know what it is, but fam, like I was actually excited to see what these receivers were going to do, especially with what was the problem in Keon and Gabe Davis, because those guys don't get separation. They're just there to run block, so on and so forth. Well, show me what you got. Hardman is what it is. Shavers, you saw he caught one ball, and that brother looked like he didn't know how to. He looked like he was like a deer, a baby deer, just trying to get his legs back. He was all over the place. Tuck the ball in your right hand and keep it moving. Anyway, that's a whole nother ball game. Just altogether, this passing game is going to be the death of us. This passing game is going to be the death of us, man. Because if we're not, I understand we were able to do good things against the Patriots and we were able to move the football, and tight end seems to be what we're going to do. But I mean, if that's the route we're going to take, then so be it. Then keep Gabe Davis in there and keep Keon Coleman. Because us keeping Tyrell Shavers, I mean, special teams purposes, I get it. But Khalil Shakir, he's remained in the same role, catching screens and little dig routes in here and a crossing route here. It's all the same. Like the receivers alone today, Brandon Cooks had a one attempt where he had the ball in his hand, couldn't corral it in, came back holding his shoulder. Who knows if he's going to go on IR going next because he was hurt. Then you had Josh Palmer, one reception for 2 yards. That was it. Dawson Knox, 1 for 10. And by the way, Dawson Knox we said that he was going to have 18 yards receiving today. Look at this brother, 10 yards. James Cook, 1 reception, 17 yards. Ray Davis, 2 receptions, 3 receptions already for the running backs. All right. Tyrell Shavers, 1 for 21 from 2 targets. That was it. There was an opportunity for him to get a first down on 4th down, and Josh missed him by a wide margin. It was just an inaccurate pass. It's a combination of these guys are just scheme, the type of receivers we have, and moments where Josh may miss you that time. Does he do it all the time? No. But man, I'm just tired of this receiving room, man. I'm tired of this. Like this falls on Brandon Beane. I can't stress this enough. I've said it before. I'm like a broken record. This falls on Brandon Beane. Every time I see this mess on my screen of these guys having 3 to 4 receptions amongst them is unbelievable. I mean, it's just one of those things that like it's like you've relegated Josh to just taking the dump offs and doing whatever he needs to do. I mean, look at the rookie quarterback in Shedeur Sanders. 4 receptions to his running back, 4 receptions to his tight end. How many receivers to his? He had 3 receptions to Jerry Jeudy. Malachi Corley had 2. Tillman had 1. And that was about it. That's it. Like you got Josh relegated to playing like a damn rookie, man. Come on, man. And I don't say Josh is playing like one, but like not being able to scheme his receivers open and the only guys getting open is tight ends and running backs. Bro, you're not going to go far if that's what we're seeing. We're not going to go far and that's what we're seeing. So I can praise this team for the good things that they do, but this receiving room is abysmal. Bro, it's nasty work. So next week, I don't know what y'all going to do. Yo, put Keon back on the field and put my man Gabe Davis on the field and just see what happens there. Because this new creation you guys tried to create with speed and separation, which I thought was going to happen, no dice. And like you're going up against a very good defense in Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz has got a good defense. So I get that part. I get all of that. But there comes a time where you got to win your one-on-ones. You got to win your one-on-ones. And if you're not winning your one-on-ones, what are we doing? What are we doing? And that to me is problematic in my opinion. All right, so let me keep it rolling. So this offensive room, I'm not very pleased with this offensive room, but I mean, what are we going to do? So this is what we got. So right now, our leading receiver, Khalil Shakir. You know who the next leading receiver was? Jackson Hawes with 2 receptions for 26 yards. Our third string tight end was our next best pass catcher. Need I say more? Like that's like Joe Brady's got to look at this and be like, yo, like figure it out. Figure it out, man. I just can't. I don't understand. I don't understand, bro. Yo, let's start with the fact that receivers need to be schemed open. They don't naturally get separation. They do need to be schemed. This is my problem with Joe Brady. It's been my problem with Joe Brady. Like, bro, we can't just live in the middle of the defense. When do we stretch the defense to kind of throw people off? I get it. We run the ball 50% of the time, and so we keeping teams off kilter. They don't know what we're gonna do. But I can assure you, one thing that they do know, we ain't going outside to any of the receivers. It's going to be mesh concepts in the middle of the defense and nothing deep, nothing to stretch the field, nothing to even to get these guys even thinking maybe could it go deep. They don't even bother. Like, think about it. I think it was against the Patriots where the Patriots just played man on third. Oh, so it was a Houston Texans. Houston Texans was 3rd and 18. These brothers said man to man, third down, don't give a rat's. Man to man. Problem. Absolute problem, man. I even wore my jersey of Stevie Johnson today. So, you know what? This will be the theme. It's going to be separating. We're trying to go with speed today. We're going to leave the slow guys, the possession guys on inactive. We're going to get some speed. We're going to get these guys running. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You can't have that. You can't have that. All right. So let me continue. So when we're not executing to our receivers, let's try to do some good things, you know what I mean, on the ground and so on and so forth, right? Other than James Cook doing what he did in the first half, ripping off that 45-yard run, he was averaging almost 11 yards a pop. Bro, did you guys see what it looked like, what we did in the second half? Let me tell you something. The Bills today went 8 for 14 on third downs. And you're probably like, 8 for 14, that's pretty good. That's right. It wasn't the Bills. That was the Browns. The Browns were the teams moving the football on third downs. The Bills, 2 for 8 on third downs, bro. What in the heck? 2 for 8 on third down conversions. And then 0 for 2 on fourth down. That's usually where we excel and do well. We were 0 for 2. Let me just make sure that I'm gonna refresh this page to make sure that is correct and that I'm not telling lies. I'm not telling fibs. Yeah. 2 for 8 on third downs and 0 for 2 on fourth down efficiency. How we got out of that game with a win is surprising to me. You know what? If not for Greg Rousseau, which we'll touch on in just a little bit, I don't know how this game would have played out. We would have been sitting here, oh my gosh, the Bills lost to the Cleveland Browns. Because I was sitting there watching this game saying, if we lose this game, we deserve to lose this game. Because nothing showed us in the second half that we deserved it. We're the second half team. We are the second half team that puts things together, make the right adjustments, and away we go. 3 points in the third quarter and 0 in the fourth. That tells me that 0 for 2 on fourth down, turnover on downs, obviously. 2 for 8 on third downs, bro, that can't happen. The Bills today, 259 yards of total offense. We weren't good today. Offensively, we weren't good. If not for James Cook in his early start and the O-line just beasting that Cleveland line, that was a scary second half. That second half was going to be brutal for us. And that's what it looked like today. Thankfully, we went 2 for 3 in the red zone. When we got in the red zone, we were able to capitalize 75%, a little 66%. And these guys went 2 for 4 in the red zone. What kept us in this game is lack of penalties. We went 5 penalties for 35 yards. We'll take that. But we're the ones usually in the driver's seat at dictating possession, time of possession. The Browns today led time of possession with 35 minutes of time of possession to the Bills 24. 24 minutes of time of possession. So when I'm looking at these things and I'm like, man, and you're allowing the Cleveland Browns without Quinshon Judkins that had a nasty leg break, and you prayers out to that brother because that was a tough one. Bro, they ran for 164 yards on the Bills. 164 yards. We got Saquon Barkley coming to Buffalo next week with, oh, by the way, their left tackle is on his way back and expected to play. Today alone, the Cleveland Browns ran for 160 yards a pop, 5.2 yards a pop on us. Shedeur Sanders added 49 yards. Of all people, Shedeur Sanders added 49 yards of rushing offense. So, like, you see overall what I'm looking at, I'm like, man, like, if we're not doing what we need to do on offense and you're letting these guys run the football, they're going to have time of possession. They're going to keep doing that. And all this took place when Shaq Thompson got hurt. Shaq Thompson got hurt. Guess who came in the game? Terrell Bernard. And I'll tell you right now, I don't even have to tell y'all. You saw it for yourself. Terrell Bernard had a rough afternoon. He had a rough afternoon, and the Bills defense paid for it because they were pushing him around, stiff-armed him everywhere. He just was out of position several times. He was washed out on a run play. Just was not a good performance by him today. So I don't know how long Shaq Thompson is going to be out, but I'm going to tell you this. We are in big trouble if Terrell Bernard is going to be leading the way next week against that team going forward. It's going to be a tough one. So we better hope and pray that Shaq Thompson, rubs a little Bengay on that neck. You know what I'm saying? Get some massage therapy, acupuncture, do what needs to be done so you can get your butt back in this game. Because if we have Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano, and Dorian Williams holding it down, we're going to be susceptible to 160-plus rushing. Most folks will say, well, listen, last week, it was no better. You guys let the freaking Patriots run for 240 or two and change. We understand that, but we also understand Trevion Henderson had two huge runs that helped that. But, man, I'll tell you, the captain, you already got it. Captain Bumard. Oh, wow, you guys are terrible. Terrell Bernard has to be better. I get it. Maybe you're rusty because you've been off for a few weeks, so you're a little rust. But fam, I guess the writing was on the wall when both you and Shaq Thompson were healthy. Shaq Thompson was the one starting it, and Terrell Bernard was the one coming in and spelling Milano. So if Milano had to go off, Shaq Thompson would come in, or they'd have all three linebackers on the field if we went to 4-3 defense. But man, oh man, I'm not sitting here pleased with what took place with what we saw with defending the run today. 164 yards to a team that is not known for running the ball very well. Cleveland Browns running the football offensively, they're ranked 28th. They yards per rush 3.9, 3.8. We let them run for 5 yards a pop. Rush yards per game 92. 92 rush yards per game. We let these boys go for 160. Like, it comes to the point where, McDermott, Babbage, I know we can't do much about the personnel, but y'all need to take a good, hard look at this defense and figure your lives out, because you gave a big-time contract to Terrell Bernard, and we're not getting the return on investment whatsoever. We're not getting it. So there's got to be a long, hard look at this defense going forward, but not just defense, excuse me. We got to look at the receiver room. There's a whole lot of things that we got to look into, because this game just kind of illuminated a lot of the challenges and problems that we do have, right? Sometimes Josh erases and masks a lot of the problems that we do have, so we kind of put it to the side. But when games are close like this, you start to realize, man, where the receivers at? Where's our linebacker play, bro? Why are we allowing 140 yards, 150, 160 yards? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, man, Josh is not having the greatest game, so we're going to have to lean on this defense. Shit, they just allowed another 12-yard run. Golly. Thank goodness for obviously Greg Rousseau coming through and handling business. Because if not, man, we got problems, bro. We certainly do have problems, man. So it's not here to poo-poo all over the Bills, but we certainly have to be better. All right. So third downs, we certainly have to be better on third downs. We did not do well on third downs. Josh Allen avoiding major injury. I got to talk about that. Josh making that, I'll call it what it is, that stupid play where he has something, he turns around, then goes back around the other side, and you got Myles Garrett right there for you. Sometimes it's okay to just take the damn sack. If you have to be Brett Favre and take the sack because it's too easy, so be it. You just pinned your team back on the 1-yard line. Then we jump offside, and now you pinned us even worse, man. And then on top of that, Josh Allen gets hurt. So we barely escaped this game, and we got quarterback Josh Allen nicked up. Now, thank goodness he said he's fine. But those are things we gotta avoid. We gotta avoid that, man. That's just crazy talk to me. We gotta avoid those very situations. All right. So I'm just writing down I'm just looking at my notes that I wrote down. So we avoided major injury with Josh Allen because it could have been worse. There was another time that he got hit that he got hit on a real weird angle, but he was able to get up and it wasn't as bad as we thought it was. I touched on it before. I'm gonna touch on it again. Horrible on third downs. Third downs going 2 for 8. What's the percentage on 2 for 8? Somebody tell me. Let me see what it is. 2 for 8 percentage. Like we can't have that. We can't have that. Ugh, awful. So we've got to be able to do better on the third downs in order if we're going to be the team that's competing. Normally we're a good team. Today, anomaly. Call it what you want to call it. That the Cleveland Browns have a very good pass defense. I get that part. So do the Bills. I get that part. But fam, we got to be way better than that. We got to be way better than that. That's unacceptable, and we can't have that. All right. So that being said, better on third downs, better on those conversions. We stay on the field, and it gets Josh in a rhythm. You get Josh in a rhythm, ball moves. We've seen it before. That's the way it goes. Second half, 3 points. Second half, only 3 points. We're a much better team than that. We're a much better team than that than only putting up 3 points in the second half. 0 in the fourth. So to me, we can't have that. And by the way, thank you, Laura. 25%. I saw it on my screen. I looked it up. I was like, all right, cool. But yeah, we got to be way better. We got to be way better than that in that regards. Because right now, this ain't it. If you're going to take that type of performance and bring it into Philly, bring it into facing who do we got? The Jets after? Bro, they're going to eat it up. Like, this is the time where teams know who you are. So I'm hoping for the latter, where we didn't want to show too much because we're facing the Eagles. So we just wanted to get in this game and get out. And I'll try to stick with that narrative as long as I can. But man, it's tough to hold on to that one. All right. Second half point, 3 points. Can't have that. All right. Josh Allen's overthrow to Khalil Shakir. I know Josh can have moments where he puts it right in the bucket and he gets that. Like that throw to Kincaid on the sideline. Love that one. That was on the money, and he just couldn't get his foot in. I get that part. But that missed throw to Shavers, that's money, man. That's a pitch and catch. Pitch and catch, man. So, like, this is why it makes me think it's a culmination of a whole lot of things, because we talk about receivers can't get wide open and this and the third, but when they do, and if they do, there's moments where you have a ball thrown like what Josh Allen did in the moment, in the clutch time we needed it. Now, does it happen? Absolutely does. But for MVP type quarterback, you got to nail that when the time comes. When the time comes, it's clutch time, you got to nail that. So that missed throw the Shavers, that missed on the Khalil, we got to be better than that. Now, Dawson Knox, on the other hand, that was a beautiful ball thrown to Dawson Knox, and not where all you got to do is sit there, catch that sucker, and you're good. That's a fourth down play, my guy. That's a fourth down play. And Dawson Knox, you're trying to catch with your body. You better snag that sucker with your hands and bring it in. And this is what I remember about Dawson Knox, where early in his career, he had moments like this, right? Do you guys remember that early in his career? As a tight end, there was moments where he'd catch big balls. And then there were moments where he just drop a pass. We're like, what? How'd you drop that easy one? And sometimes it'd be the easy ones you drop, and it's the hardest ones that you catch. But no matter what,
This is Michael Rosenbaum. Hey, folks, let me tell you that drinking and driving is a decision that will change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI, because legal fees and time in court are just the beginning. Getting into a crash is another way your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving. Your vehicle may not be the only thing that gets damaged in that crash. You could face a life-altering injury or even death. But you're not the only one who could face those consequences. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver. Always plan for a safe ride home. The only decision that will change your world for the better is the decision to call for a sober ride. It's never worth it to drive drunk. Don't risk it. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
That you're being paid, Dawson Knox, bro, you got to catch that. You got to catch that to put this team away. And I know he was kicking himself in the pants for that. But fam, we got to put those things away. Those are times that we got to put teams away and handle business, and we didn't do that in that regard. So we've got to be better. We've got to be better in that regard. All right. So when I'm looking at this overall game, best way I can look at it is thank goodness we got out of that game. Thank goodness we got out of that game unscathed to the point where we can go in and get ready for the Eagles next week, because there wasn't really much sexy about this game. I'll tell you what is sexy though. We got a new member joining the Facebook, our YouTube page, and I appreciate you. Our new member to the squad, that's Kelsey, or if I'm saying that right, am I saying that? Yep, Kelsey. Welcome to the team. We appreciate you every time that you guys join. We love it, and we'll always support it, always, every day. All right. So the Bills, where are they now? Where do we? I mean, listen, we could talk about this game and talk about the good, the bad, and I'll wait for that for Tuesday. So I go to you guys in this chat right now. Was this game as bad as you thought it was? Was it as brutal as you thought it was? Or did you guys find some silver linings? Were there some good things that you found in this? You guys let me know. All right. And as you guys chime in, let's go around the league to see what has taken place and who's doing what. And right now, as of right now, the Jacksonville Jaguars lead the Denver Broncos 17-10. And it's halftime right now. So, that is something that should be interesting. So we got to take these Jaguars serious, bro. They mean business. Let's go to games that matter. Look at this. Houston Texans are up only 10-7 on the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know who's been playing. Is Geno Smith back at quarterback, or is it some bum quarterback? I don't know who's quarterbacking for these guys. So there's Houston up 10-7. Pittsburgh is down 10-3 to Detroit. They're at the bottom of the second half. We have the 9:00 game, Baltimore and New England. That should be a fun one. So that's gonna be fun to do. But I mean, you guys know the rest of the league. There were some games this past weekend. Philly taking down Washington. That was an easy one. Green Bay losing in the end to Chicago on a dime from Caleb Williams to DJ Moore. I would have loved to use DJ Moore and those stats when my season was on the line. Thank you very much. But here we are. New Orleans taking down the New York Jets 29-6. My Lord. Tennessee takes down KC 26-9. My. How the mighty have fallen. Chargers continue to roll. 34-17 win over Dallas. And Tampa Bay, my goodness, they lost to Carolina Panthers 23-20. Minnesota 16-3 over the New York Giants. They're babies. They're just learning. And Cincinnati put a whooping on Miami 45-21. So safe to say that the based on what I'm seeing from Miami and based on what I'm seeing from the Jets, the Patriots will win the AFC East. So we just got to get content with winning out our games and finding out where we seed. Because the way Cleveland's playing, the way the New York Jets are playing, they ain't gonna beat the Patriots, especially when the Patriots trying to take the East. And on top of that, the Miami Dolphins don't look like they're gonna do anything either. So keep that in mind as well. 45-21 for Cincy. So these boys are putting it together. So this is where I'm at. Let me just put it this. This is where I'm at with this Bills team. All that we've done all year round is great, right? We've had some accolades. We've had some big games. We've lost some silly games where we had no business losing. But here's where we are right now. We're in this phase of football where we need to tighten up. We need to tie up loose ends, right? So before we go into battle into the playoffs, yes, before we go into battle into the playoffs, that we understand where our faults are and we fix them. But when I watch games like today against the Cleveland Browns, the faults are wide open. We haven't tied up anything. So we need to do that. And I get it. When push comes to shove, defense makes the stop. It's been like that the last 3 games. Greg Rousseau was sensational today. But there comes a time where we got to help ourselves out. If we're one of the better offenses in the game, we got to stay consistent. Not every team is going to be the same. I get that part. Matchups are different. But we were going up against a rookie quarterback with a banged-up O-line. There's no reason that they were able to put 23 freaking points on us. No reason. No reason. We should have put that team to bed way earlier, but we allowed them to stay in it. What did I say last night on Saturday's show, and what did I say in the pregame show? Don't play with your food. Don't play with your food. What do you think the Bills did today? They were playing with their food. They played with their food to the point where they almost choked on their meal. They almost choked on their meal, and we would have squandered that game. Their job was to go into that game, eat your meal, and get out of Dodge. Well, these brothers were playing with their food and almost choked in that thing, man. Come on. We almost choked that game away. We've got to be better. We've got to be better. So that's how I'm looking at this team. We have not, it just feels like we have not tied up loose ends. And the biggest loose end for me is not, it doesn't come from the defense. It certainly does not come from the defense. We're still tinkering into week 17 with what receiver lineup works best. What receiver lineup works best, and we're week 16. Are you kidding me? Tell me I'm tripping by being baffled by we're still tinkering, we're still moving things around. Well, we that's something we should have had locked down by midweek. By mid-year. We know who our guys are. That's what's going to take place. We're going to go from there. We're still tinkering. We put Gabe Davis and Keon on the bench. Not that it mattered to me. I didn't care. But we're still moving around. So next week is going to be another let's move this around, that around. Like, my goodness. I get that we're trying to move things around. But, like, there comes a time where, like, offensive coordinator's got to, like, yo, is it the receivers are the problem? Or is it the OC? Is he limited? Oh, man. And it's tough because we get the win, and I love that he does some good things, but I'm at my wit's end with Joe Brady with the way things are running. And I get it. Oh, but we don't have the receivers. I don't know, because if we get another coordinator in there, I'm sure they would find a way to get these guys available and open and doing things. And we still struggle. So now we're about to go and face Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, and a ferocious pass rush. So if you don't get off that line, Josh is going to be running for his life all day. Good thing we have a great offensive line that will buy him some time, and he'll buy himself some time. But there's going to come a thing that we've got to be able to get the ball to our receivers, and we have problems. That is, to me, is what's scary. Because if we're really a true contending team, we have to master somewhere. We have to master somewhere. And it's not like we can say we mastered the tight end room because Kincaid is killing you. He's got 9 receptions for $140. Not even close. Not even close. Let me tell you something. What do you think Kincaid's best performance this year has been? I'm actually curious myself. Here's a question for y'all. If you guys remember, who's had the best receiving statistic all year? And my guess, I already have it in my mind, and I think that would be the best performance so far this year. And I'm looking at Kincaid. I know he's missed some games, so I'm not fretting too much on that. Let me go back to see what the recent games that Kincaid's had. So Kincaid's best game this year was against the Kansas City Chiefs, where he got 6 targets, 6 receptions for 100 yards, and 1 touchdown. But we were playing against a Kansas City team that was prime. That was a good game. We needed a big win for that. We knew we were going to come in and have a big game, and we needed one. But that he had 100 yards against the Kansas City Chiefs. Then he had another 6-for-6 game against the New England Patriots when we lost. He went for over 100 yards, but no touchdowns. Everything else has been 40 yards, 37, 60 yards, 23, 37, 41, 34. So he's had 200-yard games this year. 200-yard games this year. It was Keon. Keon first week. First week. Keon had a massive game. And ironically, he's the guy that we're benching and he's inactive because we can't do shit about getting him the football. I'm baffled. Can you understand why I'm baffled by this? So, like, if we're going to threaten anybody and we're like, yo, but you know what? At least we throw to the, like, at least with Cleveland, you know they're going to Harold Fanning. They make it very clear and it's evident until Obviously, until we make some adjustments on Harold Fannett. But like the top tight ends in this game, they're utilized. They're made a focal point. So like, where's our focal point, man? And I get it. We're one of the teams that we spread the ball around and we spread the love. We spread the love. So it might be you one day, it might be you one day, it might be you one day. But when it comes to the playoffs, that's when your dog's got to step up. You got to find your dog. Find your dog. And right now, like, what are we doing here? So let's talk about let's go to the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos. Okay, I'm going to the Denver Broncos just to kind of show you guys something, right? They're a 12-2 team right now. All right, Bo Nix has had some off games and has some good games. And when I'm looking at what they've done this year with their receiving room, Courtland Sutton, 63 receptions this year, and obviously he's a big-time receiver, so you got to get the ball to Courtland Sutton. They got another receiver by the name of Troy Franklin, right? He's in his second year, rookie last year. I thought that Troy Franklin out of Oregon would have been a spot. That would have been a receiver that the Bills could have easily used and drafted. But we said, nah, we good. Actually, let me just see something. Yep, 2024 round 4. We couldn't have had that brother in the round. They drafted that brother in the 4th round. Anyway, this brother here has 57 receptions for 600 yards this year. He's got 94 targets. So their most targeted players on their team, Courtland Sutton, Troy Franklin. Those are playoff teams. I'm only going to the playoff teams. Okay, let me give me you guys in the chat. Give me another team you guys want me to go to. Let's go to the Chargers. Let's go to the Chargers because that could be a team that we very much play, right? Let's go to the good old Chargers. The good old Chargers. Let's take a look, see who they're leading, and then we're going to go to the Bills, and you're going to see how funny this looks. Okay, so the good old Chargers. Okay, let's look at I'm just kind of like just taking a quick glance at their top receivers. So Ladd McConkey, we know he's their leading receiver, 61 receptions for 98 targets. Okay, let's go to targets alone. So Keenan Allen is there, and we could have had Keenan Allen this year. Could we not have? We could have had Keenan Allen if we wanted to. He was there for the picking. They barely paid that brother. We said, nah, we good. We got Khalil Shakir, we got Curtis Samuel, we got Elijah Moore, right? We said, nah, he's their most targeted receiver in the slot. Ladd McConkey, 98 targets. Quentin Johnson, 72 targets. Okay, that's another playoff team. Let me go one more playoff team. One more playoff team. All right. And then I'm gonna go to the Bills just to kind of give you an idea of what the Bills are working with. Like this is, and I'm bringing this up because it's frustrating to me as a Bill. Let's go to the Texans, just for fun. The Texans. So the Texans, obviously, we know they got Nico Collins. He's their most targeted guy. So after Nico, I want to see this. So Nico Collins is 107. He's got 107 targets. After him, Dalton Schultz at 93. At least they make it clear that he's a guy that we will go to. 56 targets for Jaden Higgins, their rookie receiver. After that, another receiver, Xavier Hutchinson, another receiver. Christian Kirk, 40 receptions. So now let's go back to the Bills. Who do you think has the most targets on our team? I think you guys know the answer to that, right? Are we in agreement? Can we touch and agree that most likely Khalil Shakir is our most targeted person? All right, pardon me. Guys, if you see that my voice is hoarse, I apologize. I'm trying to get through it, and we'll get through it together, I promise. All right. So let's go to these Bills. Our buddy old pal Bills. And see how they're distributing the balls. Maybe I'll be shocked by this. Maybe I'll be surprised. Let's find out. So our most targeted receiver is Khalil Shakir with 83 receptions. Our next highest targeted receiver, Keon Coleman. He's missed 3 games because we've benched him because we feel he's not good enough. 45 targets. This is targets, folks. Targets. 45 targets to Kincaid. 40 targets to Dawson Knox. 34 targets to James Cook. You know our next targeted receiver is Josh Palmer at 31. Tyrell Shavers, 18. Bro, 83. We had guys that had 100. We had two guys on the same team that had over 90 targets each. And we sitting here at 83, 55, 45. It's baffling to me, man. It's baffling to me. It's crazy. So we're going to have to lean heavily on this run game until the team says, I know what you want to do. We're going to stuff that middle, and now you're going to have to beat us elsewhere. Let's keep this in mind. James Cook is the reason we are successful because we can lean on the run game. We run 50% of the time. The games that James Cook isn't running for 100 yards, what do you think the result was of the game? I can tell you, not great. All right, let me just open this up real quick, just to kind of give you this year on what it's looked like. Recent games. So the games that we've lost. So when we played the New England Patriots, James Cook had 15 carries for 49 yards. We lost that game. The game that we lost to the Atlanta Falcons, he had 17 carries for 87 yards, 100 yards. We lost that game. No touchdowns for our guy. The next game we lost was Miami Dolphins. James Cook, 13 carries for 53 yards. Okay? Boom, we lost that game. Houston Texans, when we lost to Houston Texans, the one game that James Cook went 17 for 116 yards, and we lost that game. That's the one game that James Cook had over 100 yards, and we lost. Anytime that he's under 100, we lose that game. So, safe to say, when this brother is producing and he's doing big things happen for the Bills. So, I bring this up because if teams scheme us defensively very well, who's going to help when Josh needs someone to step up? That's my problem. That is my problem, and that's where I honestly need head coach to go to OC and say, we got a few games to try to figure something out. I went with I don't know whose decision what it was to bench both Keon and Gabe and bring in Brandon Cooks that just joined the team 3 weeks ago, give or take. McCall Hardman that just came back from IR, and Shavers, Palmer that's been an awful disappointment this year. It's just not good, bro. What we've given Josh Allen is not good enough. So we better bank heavily on James Cook running the heck out of that football. That O-line is doing what they need to do, and we go from there because that's what it's looking like to us right now. And by the way, the Broncos just scored. Game is tied. 17-17, Broncos just scored. So I say all this to say this before I get out of here, folks, and I'm going to read your super chats and get out of here. I'm very confident in this Bills team because I know who we have on this team. Josh Allen is an ultra competitive dude. But there comes a time where we cannot play down to our competition. We can't play down to our competition. This is where we have to step our game up. But receivers have to step up for Josh. Tight ends have to step up for Josh. James Cook is doing his part. O-line is doing his part. Defense, when push comes to shove to get the ball back to them, they're doing their part. But we got to get on one page where we're doing it all together. Because I could easily see this team doing really good things and going far because we're all clicking, or I can just as much easily see this Bills team being bounced out the first round. And why? Because they took away the run game and they forced Josh to find his receivers and do something. How crazy is that? We're going to make Josh throw the football. How crazy is that? A former MVP, best quarterback in the game, but they're going to force him. Because that's what I do. If I'm defensive coordinator, I'm selling out to take the runaway, and I want you to beat me with Shavers. I want you to beat me with Khalil Shakir. I want you to beat me with all those guys. I'm surprised nobody's trying to do that right now. I'm really surprised. I'm shocked. So I guess we're going to go and find out. Love this team, but this team's got some flaws. This definitely team's got some flaws. So I'll be back at it again Tuesday to go over the games, the good, the bad, the ugly. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more things that get revealed. But we'll go from there. But before I get out of here, you guys already know I love to find out if Coach had a post-game chat with his squad. So let me see if any of those came in and happened. And here's what I think what will be said. It'll be most likely, hey, win is a win. I know it wasn't sexy. I know it was ugly. et cetera, et cetera. But you know, there's things we got to clean up. I mean, what else can he say? I guess that's the best way that we have to put it and leave it. But man, oh man, we got away with one. But I can't leave this stream without giving absolute credit to Greg Rousseau. We've been on Greg Rousseau's behind. We've been on Greg Rousseau's behind all year round, be saying, hey, where is Greg Rousseau? We see Joey Bosa, we see all these other people, but where is Greg Rousseau? And he showed up today. He absolutely showed up today, and I'm here for it. Those are the things that you want to see. So hopefully this gives him a little bit of juice. This gives him a little bit of juice going into next week against Jalen Hurts and them boys, because we got ourselves a doozy. We got Jalen Hurts coming to town. We got Saquon. We got A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown has always given us fits over the years. And obviously Smith is the deep threat out there. And they got a damn good old line. So we're going to find out exactly where the Bills stand when they face these boys. So let's see if the Bills had any locker room chats with McDermott. And yes, he does. So let me share my screen for you guys in just a bit. Let's find out what these boys McDermott had to say. What's your guess? Tell me what your guess is in the chat. What did McDermott say? What did McDermott have to say today? All right, let's go find out right now. So let me share my screen so you guys can witness this with me. So let me share my screen here. So here we go. Sean McDermott after the game in the locker room. Let's see what he has to say.
Here we go. Hey, that's a great win, man. Just find a way this time of year. Find a way. I'm going to tell you what, defense. You stood up in the second half, man. Great job. Great job of coming together.
It's true.
All right. A lot to be thankful for this time of year. Take care of yourselves. All right, Josh, you got them.
They cut that off real quick.
Love y'all. 1 out there, 1, 2, 3.
Ooh, they just want to see. Let me tell you something. That was 30 seconds of nothing. So what I pretty much saw in that clip was how they played on the field. Let me explain to you how I'm saying that. Just get in, get out, and get the win and move on. That's what they wanted. That was boring. Nothing really much said. They probably cut off a whole lot. But like, what can you say? This was a shitty game. We got out healthy. We got the win. Take care of yourselves. You guys have Christmas coming up. We'll see you soon. I'm out of here. But what you saw on the field is exactly what you saw. You saw a team that was just trying to get through it. Get through it, run the football. You know what I'm saying? Like make a couple tackles and keep these guys from doing what they need to do, and let's just get out of Dodge and get this win. And they barely got out of Dodge with a 23-20 win. And that right there, in my opinion, pretty much looked like what the performance they gave me today in Cleveland. Lots to be thankful for. Thankful that you got out of that game? Yes. Thankful that you got out of that game and you barely won. Okay. And, you know what I mean? We're going to get back to it, and we got to fix a lot of things. Well, we'll get out of here. Josh, put them up. Wrap it up. 1, 2, 3. Love you guys. Boom. Out. That's exactly what I saw on the field today. Right? There was no passion behind any of that stuff. It was like, yo, can we just get through this game and get out? That's what it looked like. So, am I surprised? Absolutely not. Not surprised whatsoever. All right. Before I get out of here, let me read a couple of super chats that you fine folks have donated, and let me read a couple going into this. My man Don Carley says, "Oh yeah," he says the Cook experiment is over. He said, "I want to read this one again. The Cook experiment. Are we done with the Brandon Cook experiment already? Because this is 2 games now where he had that bobble drop in the game against the Patriots on the sideline. Okay, that bobble drop was a big one. Was it the Patriots or the game before that? I can't recall. Okay, and then he had that tough catch to make diving for it. Tough catch, but you had your hands were on underneath that football. Where you're a professional athlete, you've been doing this a long time, you got to bring that in. And I've seen Brandon Cooks make catches like that in his career. You got to bring that in. And he didn't. So, are we done with the experiment though? I don't know if I'm done with the experiment. I don't think we've reached, you know what I mean, his potential with this team yet. But we're also bringing in guys left, right, center from Bob's uncle, right? And try to make them fit into this offense. They're probably coming into this offense going, bro, this offense sucks. I cannot wait once these guys kind of move around, Keon Coleman more specifically, when he does move on, because it doesn't look like he's going to be coming back next year. I just can't see it. But how he explains what took place with the Bills, right? Elijah Moore. It's already known that he was frustrated with Joe Brady and how Joe Brady was calling plays and how he's doing. I'd love to know. I don't even know how Elijah Moore, if he's being used. I forgot where he got signed, right? I got to look to see if they're using him at all. But Joe Brady has a lot to do with a lot of this stuff, man. In my opinion, he does have a lot to do with this. So it's bizarre to me. All right, let me keep rolling here. We got another my man Jeff. What up, Jeff? Jeff becomes a member of the Buffalo Fanatics YouTube page. We appreciate you, my G. Thank you for joining and becoming part of our crew and supporting us. We love it. We love you guys, and it's all love. Love to see it. But yeah, man, what do you guys think of Brandon Cooks? Is that experiment done? Are we done with that? Are we keeping it rolling? You guys let me know, man. I'm just looking forward to seeing how these guys get healthy and get ready for this Eagles game, because this Eagles game is going to be an interesting one. The real question is, what time is that Eagles game? When do we play the Eagles? Is that a 2:00 game or is it a 4:00 afternoon game? I think it's a 4:00 afternoon. Let me just tell you right now. So the Bills-Eagles game is a 4:00 afternoon game. So that one's a 4:00 afternoon game. And the last game of the season is against, I think, the Jets. And I think we play the Jets. It's a home game, I believe, with the red helmets. And that'll probably be a 2:00 afternoon game. They ain't trying to see any of that stuff later on in the season. So that is my time, folks. I don't know, man. Overall, this game was pretty much one that I could say I was glad it was over. The wife took my daughter for soccer. She came back. She said, "Are the Bills winning?" And the way that she saw me sitting on the couch, you would think the Bills were losing. I looked at it, I was like, I just don't know what the heck I'm watching here. These guys are just trying to get out of this with a win and get moving. But there's no love and passion in this game. It's crazy to me. All right. Let me read some comments before I get out of here, because you guys are commenting like crazy. So I'm scrolling up a little bit so I can catch some of your comments as we get through this thing. All right. My man Iran says, "Yo, we can lose next week and win week 18. We stay at number 6 and head to Jacksonville in the end. Terrible up and down season." I'm gonna actually look at what it looks like. We're gonna do the playoff picture of what it looks like, and we'll go through that. My man Rev was like, he knew what was gonna happen. Blah 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 resiliency, but he didn't even give us blah 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 resiliency. It was lots to be thankful for. He probably didn't know what to say. Lots to be thankful for. Take care of yourselves. See you next week. Josh, break him down. Done. Nothing else to talk about. My man Mike says, "Yo, Russo is good for one big game each season. That was it." Well, if that was it, that came at a great time. 2.5 sacks today, something that we've needed from him. Maybe that just jumpstarts the need and the hunger to chase for sacks. But I mean, we'll see. They definitely cut some out for sure. But like, why cut some? Like, what exactly are you cutting out that didn't need to be there? Maybe it's just a bunch of fluff. So just cut it short. Let's get out of here. Who knows? Who knows, man? Who knows how that would have went down? All right. I got a comment coming from Cognitive Dissonance. Says, BB knew he was considered a raw prospect. Oh, who's BB? BB knew he was considered a raw prospect that would need time to develop his route running. It's literally why he wasn't a first-round prospect. Publicly criticizing him for their mistakes is crazy, in my opinion. Oh, you're talking about Brandon Beane. Brandon Beane knew he was considered a raw prospect that would need time to develop his route running. It's literally why he wasn't a first-round prospect. Publicly criticizing for their mistakes is crazy. What's crazy, though? Publicly what? Publicly criticizing for their mistakes. If I think I'm reading that properly, he deserves every set of criticism because you chose that receiver with those flaws. I think I'm with you on this, but I'm maybe not. With those flaws, knowing that you had to work on it. You don't have a pinpoint accurate quarterback in Josh Allen. So, like, for guys like him, you need to be pinpoint accurate to throw him the football, and away we go. We don't have that. It's just not a good fit, man. Like, we drafted a guy that wasn't a good fit. We drafted a guy that Josh Allen apparently vouched for and wanted. So that's on Josh. You would have thought that Josh would say, hey, man, let me just work with him and try to work something out. Probably Josh was like, bro, you got to do what you want with this guy because he ain't listening. He ain't doing it. Who knows? Who knows exactly what the situation is? Who knows? Let me see what we got here. We got Mike says, yo, Knox, I thought his ping pong paddle hands were getting better. That was a tough. You got to catch that. That was a tough this, that, and the third. He's got to catch that. That ball was on the money, right on the money. You got to bring that in. And Josh didn't bring it in. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, it's a piss off, but what are you going to do? My man Noah says, already looking at 100 wide receiver prospects. Yep. Buddy, I'm not there yet. I'm still into the season, but I'm not. It's going to have everybody looking at receiver prospects and whether they decide to trade up for a receiver. Are they that desperate for it, or does Brandon Beane think that he can find one sitting at the 27th spot, or if the season goes the way we want it to, the 32nd spot? Who knows? That's why it pisses me off that we could have had Jalen Waddle right now on this team, but we BSing. So imagine we win the Super Bowl. Great. That's awesome. You know what I'm saying? But we're now pick 32. It is what it is, folks. It is what it is. My man Lewis says he was done with Palmer. I don't know if I'm done. I'm not done with Palmer, but I'm highly disappointed with Palmer's play this year. I'm highly disappointed. Like Josh Palmer this year, statistically, I don't know if he's even over 400 yards receiving this year. And I'm exaggerating when I say that. Josh Palmer this year, 288 yards receiving. He had more yards as a third string receiver with the Chargers than he is at the number 2 spot receiver. Tell me how that makes sense. So is it a Palmer issue, or is it a Brady issue, or is it just a combination of both? I don't have the answers. I don't, and it's for these guys to figure it out. But I don't know if I'm done with Palmer as of yet. My man Rev says, yo, we know Josh is the MVP, but without Cook, Josh ain't doing, you ain't lying. James Cook, offensive player of the year, and it's not even close, man. That brother's doing it, man. He really is. Cooks can go, might as well start Gabe and Coleman. That's what I will keep Cooks in there. You know what the problem is? We have a Khalil Shakir. Here's my thing. We have a Khalil Shakir in the slot that we don't use like Amon-Ra St. Brown is being used. We've used this guy to just a slot receiver that just does like little stop routes and little mesh plays, right? You see Amon-Ra just all over the freaking field. So if you don't know how to use a slot receiver, I don't know if he doesn't know how to use a slot receiver, but like mix it up a little bit. If we're tweaking and trying to work things out, put my man on the wide side. Put Khalil Shakir at wide receiver. Put Keon in the slot and see how Keon does in the slot. Like, move things around. If you're really going to try to figure some things out, move things around. Because you're paying that brother a lot of money and he's just giving me just basic numbers, man. And I'm referring to Khalil Shakir. Because Khalil Shakir, 83 targets, 62 receptions. This guy's got 650 yards. Like, bro, man, it's frustrating as ever. Like, for real. Like, hold on. What has he done? So far, he's been in this league, right? He had 821 yards last year. He had 611 yards the year before that. And right now, he's at 684. He's got 4 touchdowns, same as last year. He's got 10.4 yards a pop, same as last year. So they're using him the exact same. His numbers are pretty much on par. Pretty much on par. He had 76 receptions last year. He's got 66 this year. He might surpass that. But with the way that we've been playing, he might just find out and sit where he's at. He's got 100 targets last year, 88 targets this year. So we're using him the very same way. I don't know. I don't get it. I get lost for words myself when I'm trying to like figure my life out, man. Cognitive says, yo, Brady scares the F out of me. He's always better. He's way better than Dorsey, and he's really good at adjustments, but he's still an inexperienced OC, and it showed last postseason, and it's showing more in his second year with film on him. Oh, yeah, guys are already on him. They're on him already, and this little mesh concept is working because, I mean, you're just crossing. There's a whole lot of crossing, and you guys have chasing, and you're making DBs chase. And so on and so forth, and it's up to Josh to kind of figure out what he sees. But I don't know. I've been done with him. It's been 3 weeks now. Like I want, if they bring him back, I'll be highly disappointed. Highly disappointed. Most likely he'll probably find success somewhere. But I think we just need fresh new eyes and a new offense for our quarterback Josh to be where he's supposed to be. All right. What do we get? What do we got? Josh had his list of, and Keon wasn't first. Keon was his first choice of receivers left. Well, yeah. Whatever was, but there were some good receivers that were not, I wouldn't say that was whatever. He liked Keon over AD Mitchell. And AD Mitchell is the better prospect than Keon Coleman. So I just hate that. I hate that a lot. All right, let me get a few things here before I read my sleeper. My man Walter says, all you need to know is Palmer hasn't had more than 2 catches since week 1 and has no touchdowns. In his career, he only has 10 touchdowns to begin with. James Cook even has 9 receiving touchdowns. It's quite fascinating that we cannot get that. I feel like I'm a broken record saying how annoyed and frustrated I am with the likes of our receiving crew. And how they're not being utilized, or they're underutilized, or they're not peaking. It's just not good. And I swear, if he knew he was joining this offense and this is what it was going to be, I'm sure he would have went elsewhere. They got lured in by playing with a guy like Josh Allen. But man, this offense, bro, I don't know, bro. I don't know. All right, here we go. My man Cognitive says that you think McDermott would have learned his lesson after his first inexperienced OC almost got us eliminated for the playoffs, but apparently not. I mean, listen, man, he's giving guys opportunities. May not be the best guys, but we'll see. If Pittsburgh beats the Lions, I'll be mad. It's not looking great right now. Hold on, what are we talking about here? Is Pittsburgh leading? Oh, it's 10-10. It's 10-10. Jacksonville's up 24-17 now. Houston is up 13-7, which is bizarre to me. I'm surprised they're not blowing the hell out of the Las Vegas Raiders. Could you imagine if the Raiders come in and beat Houston? That'd be weird. And Detroit 10-10. We'll see. We shall see. All right. Let me see what my man said. Yo, Cleveland does this to everyone who plays Cleveland. Let me see though, because you might be onto something. Because like their defense is not a horrible defense. Maybe it's just it's a matchup thing. But I'll tell you this, when I saw Cleveland on the radar for the Bills, I'll keep it a buck. I always knew that I knew that the Cleveland Browns would give a fight. So let's go regular season. Week 1 against the Bengals, it was a 17-16 loss to the Bengals. Against the Ravens, they lost 41-17. They beat the Packers 13-10. They lost to the Lions 34-10. Keep in mind, this is Dylan Gabriel that's quarterbacking at this point. And Joe Cool. They lose to the Vikings 21-17. They lose to the Steelers 23-9. They beat the Dolphins 31-6. Odd. They lose to the Patriots 32-13. See, that was kind of the score I was anticipating today, right? They lose to the Jets 27-20. They lose to the Ravens 23-16. They beat the Raiders 24-10. They lose to the 49ers 26-8. Titans go 31-29. They lose 31-3. They lose to the Bears. The Bears actually crushed them 31-3. Why we couldn't do that? And then the Bills 23-20. So like, yes, somewhat they've been like that, but like, come on, man, we got to be way better. We got to be better. Like when they played the Patriots, I'm kind of interested to see what Patriots did. Drake made that game. Went 18 for 24, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Okay? He was sacked 6 times, though, but threw for 280 yards, 24 attempts. He went 18 for 24. Mac Hollins, 7 receptions for 89 yards. Butte, 3 for 75. Demario Douglas, 1 for 44. So big plays were had. Stephon Diggs, 3 for 14. I mean, shocker. But yeah, the Patriots took care of business. That's what they're supposed to. There's no way that we're sitting here messing around and not able to do handle business. Look at that. Mac Hollins, he went 7 for 89. Come on, man. It's crazy. It's tripping. Anyway, it kind of gives us a good idea. Do they play teams different? Yes. Matchups are different. Absolutely. But they're banged up. We had no reason to not handle business with these guys. All right, folks. Let me get into my media stuff before I get out of here. You guys already know the drill. When it comes to the Sleeper app, we were able to kind of give you guys a little something with $20 with your free entry. So go ahead and take advantage of that. Get your match of 100% up to $100 using our code BF25. So let me share my screen with y'all so you guys have a good understanding of where I came short. Y'all need to help me out, man, because I thought I had this in the bag. I thought I had this absolutely in the bag, but here I am. I didn't get it. Look, I had Dawson Knox for over 18 yards. This brother finished with 10 yards receiving. 10 yards. Okay. James Cook, anytime touchdown. Bingo. This guy had 2 touchdowns. Shedeur Sanders, over 8.5 rushing yards. This guy had 49 yards. He led the team with rushing. Dawson Knox, 18.5 yards. This guy finished with under 18 yards. Are you kidding me? Really? Come on, man. Like, that's crazy to me. That should have been one of those things where we got that down pat. We got it. Nope. Here we are. So let me get out of here real quick so I can kind of get you guys on your merry way. If you guys enjoyed this show, do me a favor, smash that like for your boy. Send some well wishes to my guy Zeba as he gets over his I don't know, maybe flu. And whatever the hell he passed on is passing to me because I'm feeling that little itch in my throat. So I got to go and take care of myself so I can do this thing all over again. So I appreciate you guys very much. You guys make this show go because you guys are interactive. You guys chat with me. We get it cracking. So I love y'all. Appreciate y'all very much. And we will be back at it again next week. I'm on vacation for the next 2 weeks, so I'm chilling right now. I don't got to deal with no work. I don't got to deal with that. So I got time to kind of put some things together for y'all. So we'll get it going, man. So if this flu is going around, boy, I rebuke it. I rebuke that flu going around. I don't want nothing to do with it. So hopefully I can kind of keep myself right and we'll catch it. So guys, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. We're going to be watching a big game today with the Patriots and Ravens. We'll see how that goes. Does it really matter how it's going to go? Probably not. The Jets and Dolphins blow. The Patriots will probably end up taking care of that right now. But it'll be good to see these boys take on the Ravens to see how they play out. All right? You guys have yourself a great afternoon. We'll catch you guys on the flip. Have yourself a great one. And until next time, it's your boy Rico. And we'll catch you guys on Tuesday. All right, y'all have a good one. Peace.